Attorney Williams, why would I actually need a lawyer after a car wreck?
That's a great question. And obviously I'm biased in responding to that, but you gotta put aside my bias and understand my reasoning. I'll answer your question this way. When I am thinking about a good meal, a good dinner, and I don't always have time to cook, I go to the restaurant that has my favorite meal or whatever I'm in the mood for. I order it and I trust the cook, the chef in the back in the kitchen to make it. Because if I go back and try to make it myself, I'm not as experienced. I don't know all the ingredients that go into it. I don't know what all needs to be done to make it the way I like it, the way it needs to be made according to the menu to be an enjoyable meal that I'm looking forward to. So it is with personal injury cases. If you try to go it alone, the insurance company knows that you don't understand the value of your case, the facts that matter to a personal injury case, and things like that. That's why it's always good to at least talk to a personal injury lawyer. You don't ever have to sign anything or become represented by a lawyer, but at least talk to one to understand what value they can bring to that process.
Why is it important for me to keep my medical records after a car wreck?
Well, medical records are so important because they list the diagnoses, the symptoms of what you are experiencing and what the doctors have diagnosed you with after the car wreck. It's important because the injuries will be consistent with how the wreck occurred. For instance, rear-end collision. Someone followed you too closely, hit you in the rear. That's understandable that you'd have neck pain, that you'd have headaches, that you'd have low back pain, because those are the kind of injuries that would occur after that. The injuries would be consistent with that, so it's all the more likely that the diagnoses and the symptoms you're talking to the doctors about are consistent with how the wreck occurred.
Attorney Williams, say for example, I've just been injured, I'm in a car wreck. What rights do I have?
Generally speaking, the rights somebody has who's a victim in a car wreck case, the first one that comes to mind is the right to recover all medical expenses that you incurred because of the wreck. Also, you've got lost wages. If you were forced to be out of work for any amount of time, you're entitled to lost wages. And then we get into something, and there you have your pain and suffering. If you have a hobby like basketball or bicycling, or walking around your neighborhood and you're no longer able to do that due to the pain or injuries that you suffered because of the wreck, then we call that loss of enjoyment or something like that. Just to show, it's so important to show the decision maker, the judge or the jury who's deciding the case, as clear a picture of how this wreck occurred. And somebody may roll their eyes at the loss of enjoyment because of they're not able to perform their hobby anymore, but that hobby is integral to who they are. It was a daily thing, and so you bring that out, that aspect of the case. That's just some of the rights that a person who's an injured, innocent victim in a car wreck case.